but I do want to help the president. I have a few suggestions for him. I'm sorry I couldn't have lunch with him today. Maybe he'll be able to see this later on C-SPAN. So what I asked the president, if he wants to let the school children back in the White House, what about the $3 million that we spend studying monkeys on meth? Does it really take $3 million to discover that monkeys, like humans, act crazy on meth? Mr. President, what about the $300,000 for a robotic squirrel? Now, they wanted to study whether a squirrel that doesn't wag its tail, whether it will be bitten by a rattlesnake. Only problem, they couldn't find a real squirrel to volunteer not to wag its tail. But I can tell you the bottom line for the $300,000 question, a rattlesnake will bite the you-know-what out of a squirrel not wagging its tail. Mr. President, maybe we could have cut the robotic squirrel before we went to White House tours. Now, for any of you college students looking for jobs, Uncle Sam's got a job for you. The pay's $5,000, all expenses paid. The study is in Hawaii. But the requirements are onerous. Only a few could qualify. You have to like food. The study is to develop a menu for when we colonize Mars. I'm not making this up. Guess what a bunch of college students came up with for the menu? Pizza. You could cut one of these programs and return to letting the school children come to the White House. This government's completely out of control. We desperately need a new course and new leadership. The path forward for the Republican Party is rooted in the respect for the Constitution and respect for the individual. Part of that respect is allowing our Americans to freely exercise one of their most basic rights, the right to bear arms. But you can't protect the Second Amendment if you don't protect the Fourth Amendment. If we are not secure in our homes, if we are not secure in our persons and our papers, can we really believe that the right to bear arms will be secure? We need to jealously guard all our liberties. The Facebook generation can detect falseness and hypocrisy a mile away. I know, I have kids. They are the core, though, of the Leave Me Alone coalition. They doubt Social Security will be there for them. They worry about jobs and money and rent and student loans. They want leaders that won't feed them a line of crap or sell them short. They aren't afraid of individual liberty. Ask the Facebook generation whether we should put a kid in jail for the nonviolent crime of drug use, and you'll hear a resounding no. Ask the Facebook generation if they want to bail out too big to fail banks with their tax dollars, and you'll hear a hell no. There is nothing conservative about bailing out Wall Street. Likewise, there is nothing progressive about billion-dollar loans to millionaires to build solar panels. The Republican Party has to change by going forward to the classical and timeless ideas enshrined in our Constitution. When we understand that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, then we'll become the dominant national party again. It's time for us to revive Reagan's law. For liberty to expand, government must shrink. For the economy to grow, government must get out of the way. This month I will propose a 5-year balanced budget. My budget eliminates the Department of Education, and devolves power and money back to the states where they belong. My 5-year budget will create millions of jobs by cutting the corporate income tax in half, by creating a flat personal income tax of 17%, and cutting the regulations that are strangling American business. The only stimulus ever proven to work is leaving more money in the hands of those who earned it. The Constitution must be our guide. For conservatives to win nationally, we must stand for something. We must stand on principle. We must stand for something so powerful and so popular that it brings together people from the left and the right and the middle. We need a Republican Party that shows up on the south side of Chicago and shouts at the top of our lungs, "We are the party of jobs and opportunity. The GOP is the ticket to the middle class." The GOP of old has grown stale and moss-covered. I don't think we need to name any names, do we? Our party is encumbered by an inconsistent approach to freedom. The new GOP will need to embrace liberty in both the economic and the personal sphere. If we're going to have a Republican Party that can win, liberty needs to be the backbone of the GOP. We must have a message that is broad, our vision must be broad, and that vision must be based on freedom. There are millions of Americans, young and old, native and immigrant, black, white, and brown, who simply seek to live free, to practice their religion, free to choose where their kids go to school, free to choose their own health care, free to keep the fruits of their labor, free to live without government constantly being on their back. I will stand for them. I will stand for you. I will stand for our prosperity and our freedom. And I ask everyone who values liberty to stand with me. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you.